Black Lips have never worked with a producer and usually just record on their own with an engineer to help out. For their sixth studio album, they wanted to try something new, so we had them put together a list of producers they wanted to work with. We thought it would be Jack White, Rick Rubin, rock producers, but it turns out Mark Ronson was at the top of the list. After Mark played the Creators Project this year, we asked him if he'd want to take a break from producing Boy George, Duran Duran, and remixing Michael Jackson to come out to Brooklyn and work with the Black Lips. He said yes.
Mark, it's your loop.
We used to throw out like big name producers thinking like, oh, they'll never be able to get that, and then we can keep producing ourselves like we'd like to. But then they actually got Mark to do it.
It was Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre, The RZA, yeah. Danger Mouse, Jack White.
Yeah.
I was the only one available.
This is a totally new process for us because we've never had a producer before. It's cool because we've been doing this for so long, and this will be like our 7th album, so it's nice to try new things, get like a different ear to come in, and it's good to have someone who like has a lot of suggestions, like why don't you try this, that none of us would have thought of.
Oh, he's playing the chord.
Yeah, but one of you just plays it as a single note line, just to really accentuate that riff.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Basically ADE.
I'm always like nervous going in the first day before a new project, especially with a band when you're going into like a situation where it's like a really close-knit unit of people that have been playing together for years and they're like almost like a gang. You're always worried it could go completely pear-shaped, but in this case they seem to be quite down to experiment with somebody else.
I didn't know how it was going to work, but I was open to it because we've been doing it so long, you know, just by ourselves.
We never really wanted to use a producer. We just always just had an engineer. They just pressed record and let us go.
What I think about it is it's like my ears, our ears, outside listening in. You know, you have to find someone you can trust, and that's hard. So when we were thinking about people we wanted to work with, that Amy Winehouse record sounded really dope. That was Mark Ronson, so we put some feelers out, and Mark Ronson was totally down.
The Amy Winehouse thing sold us a little bit because he worked with like the Dap Kings, and they just seem to understand the old school way of recording. And we're not like a purist retro band, but we definitely identify more with just the old school production values.
They certainly know like all the garage and the 60s rock stuff much better than I do, but I love all that stuff. So there is like a shared aesthetic, so I can kind of tell like, okay, we want this to seem like spooky and warbly and eerie and ghostly.
It's always hard to describe sound. I think that's why a lot of music journalists have a hard time. But I used to try to be like, can you make this sound spooky? Or I wanted it to sound like ghostly. And the guy's like, engineer, would be like, what are you talking about? How do you make it sound ghostly? So I kind of try to stop using weird analogies that I felt in my head.
There's not many bands that I could bring in, like a 4-piece rock band, and bring in like a saw player or someone to play theremin or do some interesting things with instrumentation that I wouldn't usually get to do.
You hear the echo? It's supposed to recreate the exact geometry of how you hear reverberations in your own skull. Not to mention the past soul that lived within inside the skull.
Mark, he's been very open to a lot of the ideas we have, and he's presented some decent changes to structures and certain things that made songs work better. Basically, it's just like adding a 5th member to the group, and we got everyone who comes along with him too. There's engineers, there's instrument guys, brought us tons of great gear to play with. He's put his touch on everything, to the sound, to the mic placement, to the instrumentation choices. Like, a different pop understanding to production.
So you 2, 3, 4, Spidey's powers, whatever, you know, just...
Spidey's powers.
Or whatever.
It's all the... Okay. Oh. A lot of times we write the lyrics at the last minute, which can be a problem.
Anything to take one syllable out there.
Yeah, Spidey's got, like that. Spidey's got power. Spidey's got powers.
That's the one stressful thing right now. I'm still trying to come up with lyrics for 2 songs. I have nothing to write about, and tried to watch the Garbage Pail Kids movie to get like inspiration.
Yo, 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 yeah. Yo, 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 yo. Woo-ah!
Apparently Cole's gonna talk to Charles Manson. I don't know how that...
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I guess that could, maybe he'll help us with some lyrics. That'd be pretty cool if we could get some Charlie penned lyrics.
It's your body, no one's body but yours anyway. So Peter Parker, don't let him mark ya. It's so much stalker, don't let him touch ya. Hey, will you talk in this? I'm gonna go clear my throat with some vinegar.
I will have to admit it's a bit of a shock to the ego to like have taken like weeks of figuring out how a song should go and then have it be changed by someone who hasn't heard it quite as much.
Do you like to sing?
Depends on what you're going for. Honestly. But I have to understand that's the environment that we put them in, and you know the ego, good and bad thing, usually mostly a bad thing, so I have to ignore the personal emotions that are caused by an attack on the ego, like indirectly.
You're cool with where the kit sound is, though, we can just add that. Sure. Cool, so let's roll some. Let's get the loop.
It's like good pressure when you're in the studio. Sometimes you get like mental blocks that are annoying, but yeah, definitely way less than on the road because you're tired all the time and hungry and not sleeping much.
Touring feels like being more in the office. This is the strictly like creative side. You're free to let your mind wander. This is supposed to be like fun, but
you can tell when you're working with people who love music as much as you do because there's an excitement in it, and I don't know, as opposed to like making songs to be hits or whatever it is, you know? Like everyone's in here because they're like psyched to make music.
Don't let him touch you, you don't have to stay. Don't tell us